Hi, Bobby. How's everyone doing today? Have a fun weekend?
Good morning. Oops, facing the wrong way. There we go. Hello. A little close today, but whatever. So, welcome everybody. Let me get this on this screen. And let me share my screen. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? There it is. Okay. So, again, welcome everyone to the meeting of the Linux Foundation Decentralized Trust AIFAQ project. On the screen is the code of conduct and the antitrust policy. They are just ways to act on these calls that are sponsored again by the Linux Foundation. Just respect other people's works. If some ideas are mentioned and they're not yours, don't claim them, and treat people's ideas with respect. So today is an interesting meeting. We are turning it over to the mentees to do some presentations. I did invite Tim, but I don't see him. But this meeting is being recorded, so I can always send him the recording. Yeah, that's about it. I'll put the attendees in and we'll start with Snowflake. So if you're ready, J-Ram, we're ready.
Yes, Bobby, I'm ready.
Okay. You should be able to share your screen and good to go.
Yes, just give me a second. I will share my screen. Bobby, can you see my screen? Right.
I can. And if you could share the presentation at some point so I can put it on the Trello card, that would be great.
I have shared the access to you in the mail.
Oh, okay. I'll go check my email and put it up there.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I
So
saw
in
that in
today's,
Slack.
yeah. So in this agenda about the Snowflake app, first of all, I want to discuss about the Snowflake RAG-based Streamlit app version 1 and the Snowflake RAG app guide README file. And I have also shared the access to test the system in the Snowflake with the team Bobby and Gianluca and Sumna to test the system in the Snowflake. So for the version 1, we have a chatbot kind of UI, kind of a chat GPT kind of UI, where we can just choose our LLM model. We can ask any question regarding the documents we have uploaded. So here you can see we have a knowledge base builder at the left side of the screen where we can just upload a file kind of PDF, plain text, web URL, everything. So these are the types of knowledge base where we can add this into the system. So in the so if we just upload a PDF there, so it gets an option that do we need to make it public or in the private space? So why and after uploading, we would get a PDF and the file size and the time and whether the file is public or not. So I just uploaded a AWS pre-tier PDF. So there I got some. They just I asked the question that what are the pre-tier AWS services, would I get for free. So it just recommended me this and also advised me to just check the documentation for later. And and for the second agenda, so I have already shared a implementation guide if anyone wants to try the system and wants to implement it. So here it's a complete README file and step-by-step guide to everyone who can just test the system and implement it. And and currently I have shared the Snowflake access to Tim, Gianluca, Bobby, and Suna to test the system. And here you can just check out this link to get access the Streamlit app, and you can test the system.
I put it in the
Uh,
chat.
yeah, this is about the Snowflake updates for this week, for the last week. And if you have any questions regarding the Snowflake, I'm open.
So what we're looking at is I can take the Snowflake app, log in, and choose what documents I want to add, or can I like I'm just curious. So we're putting our piece in Snowflake. Are we using anything from Snowflake, or are we just using our chatbot in the Snowflake environment?
We are using the Snowflake. It's kind of a cloud system where we just uh, hosting or deploying the chatbot UI and everything in the Snowflake.
Okay, so are we? Well, that's great. It looks beautiful, and I'm very impressed. I think this is awesome. Um, when we present this to the Snowflake people, will there be a way for them to possibly connect to their data lakes that Snowflake already has stored for them for this app to work, or are they just adding documents in the marketplace? Like, is it separate completely from the data that they store at Snowflake, or do they have to re-add everything they want in our app?
Yeah, so
We
so
can
let me sort of
Yeah, I'm not saying it
rephrase
right. Yeah.
what Bobby's getting at, because I know what she's getting at. So this is a great example where you took the functionality that we currently have of uploading and loading data into a knowledge base. And it's a great first step to have that knowledge base now in Snowflake. So you have their security, their privacy, all that sort of set up in a Snowflake environment that builds trust and confidence. But the more likely use case is where someone already has all their data or a lot of their data in Snowflake. And so the question is how do we connect to an existing knowledge base? And since, no company at this point is going to give us that, I don't know if Snowflake has some sort of sample or test sandbox data environments that we could tap connecting to.
Exactly.
Because like a more real life use case is like, oh, I've got all this information about my products and my customers or my employees in Snowflake, and now I want to ask questions about that. Hey, which product in our offering is best suited for customers with this budget looking to solve this problem?
yeah, yes, Peter and Bobby, we can just modify the version where the knowledge base is building, no? So we just need to add a kind of a Snowflake data warehouse where we just s- select the data warehouse of the Snowflake where the companies are uh, the company which is using the Snowflake data warehouse data. We just need to select directly from there. We can just uh, make the knowledge base from the data warehouse instead of manual uploading. Yeah, we
Beautiful.
just need to modify a little.
And we need to get you access to test data.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if that was one of my questions. I don't know if there's like a like what was the company Microsoft always had? I forgot. Whenever you tested Microsoft, they had the
It wasn't
Win
ABC.
something. They had the Win something company, and anytime you built something in Microsoft, they always had that as like the test
Like it's like
company.
yeah, like Ethereum has the complete test net you can screw around with forever. Um,
Yeah.
and then you jump over to mainnet. Kind of that idea. So I guess we'll reach out to Tim and ask him, but I can't wait to play with this today and see how it works and dig in. It's awesome. Does anybody have any questions for JRAM on this? Anybody else from any other group? Nope. Were you done, JRAM, or was are there more slides? Because this was awesome.
No, I'm done, Bobby.
Okay, so I guess the next step for this is everybody to just try it out and see, upload documents, ask questions, see if it's rock solid and how it operates. And we'll get from Tim some information on the next steps to see how we can connect to the data warehouses that already exist in Snowflake. That's awesome. What about Ryan? Do you have any presentations for today?
Yeah, I do have. I've shared the link in chat, and I would like screenshot my screen. Okay, so yeah, so my screen visible?
Yes.
Yeah. So first of all, I would start with that Wednesday meet, which was with Min. Like last weekend, last week we had a meet with Min regarding this mentorship. So in that, me and have promoted multi-agent, and like major of the time we were only promoting multi-agent thing only in whole meet among all the all the mentees there, because most of the like things which we progressed were like much ahead than other like mentorship program like mentorship projects. So like we flexed our whole AIFAQ there, and we like presented everything to Min in that meet.
Oh, she must have been so
So
excited.
yeah. She actually told that only ki, like me and Lochan were presenting it. So there were only one another mentorship program which they were presenting. Like none of others were like ready to present anything there. So
Awesome.
it was actually great meet on Wednesday.
Good, good. I'll look
So
for the recording of that. If I can find it, I'll definitely listen to it.
yeah. So secondly, like for the current progress of multi-agent, then we have integrated we have integrated that fast vector storage, and document ingestion works properly, and like whole basic retrieval system of the AIFAQ is working perfectly. So what Gianluca like told in the last meet was to search about web search agents and the user feedback, which had the emojis thing there. So like me and Lochan have all like this like whole week we have worked on those things, and we have already implemented most of the code. We are like just left with some part of the code left to implement, and then we would make a PR on the main repo, like for the multi-agent repo. Other than that, I had a suggestion regarding the answering way. Like right now, what we are doing is like we are for everything we are like running the multi-agent system, and we are using that web search data. But if we think practically, and if we think as as a selling this product, then it would be quite costly if we sell like this, because we use so many tokens here. If we use so many tokens of any LLM, then it would be quite costly. So like I think we should implement a caching database, something like that, which could store the previously answered questions, so that we can find the answer directly if there is a similar question asked in the chat itself. So like I think we should make some caching system. So for the same, I made a basic architecture regarding that thing. If the user finds the answer valid or correct, then he would like it, and if he likes it, then we would add it in the cache memory. And if he does not add, like if he does not like the answer, then we won't add it in our database. So we would have a database full of correct answers liked by the most of the users there, so we can easily retrieve the previously asked questions faster.
I have
So
to
what's the
tell you,
advantage of
So
this?
Oh, I could tell you the advantage.
Yeah,
I monitored one of the Fabric forums for questions, and 90% of the questions was on how to install it, and it was always the same question.
yeah.
And I would have to search through to find the answer that I gave last month, make sure it worked. And so this would have been brilliant if that answer was stored somewhere and I could have easily pulled it back up. Because people ask the
Actually,
same
the problem
frequently
actually,
asked.
No, but if
Go
yeah,
it's a
ahead.
chatbot and
actually,
not a human, what's the advantage of? I mean, I think I know, but I want to sort of hear what your answer is to what's the advantage of caching it versus just going back out to the, knowledge base and the chatbot running the query again.
yeah. So like major advantage, if I would say regarding that retrieval system, it's like all okay. But if we see as a product, if we see this AIFAQ as a product, then we need to we have to like maximize the quality of answer and minimize the usage of the tokens. And if we every time ask from the database, then if we it would search from the database, then it would like take a lot of tokens there for the LLM. But if we directly make a vector similarity search using some cosine similarity or something like that from the pre-built data set, then we won't be requiring any token. And if we don't require any token, we can reduce the price for usage of this AIFAQ, which would lead
Okay.
to like more users.
So it's more about resource maximization and cost cutting.
Yeah, yeah.
I was wondering if there's any other advantages besides that, because that's initially what
Also,
popped
like
into my head. Are there any
yeah,
other
one
advantages
advantage could be,
besides that?
yeah, one more advantage could be like I told that if the user liked that answer, then it would be added in cache. Otherwise, it won't be added. Sometimes LLMs hallucinates. So sometimes what happens is like if it gives answer, if it gives X answer for this time, then it may give Y answer next time, like answer Y next time. But if the X is the correct answer, then like if I can prevent the hallucination, instead of answering Y, I can directly search from the previous questions and I can directly answer X. If it is correct, then why should I search for a different answer in that? That was
Okay.
for this.
Now, how do you determine something is the same question? Because in an LLM, it could be asked very different ways.
Yeah, we can for that we can do is like the vector databases have a cosine similarity, like we have a cosine similarity for checking if two questions are same or not. Like we generally use it for similarity search from if we have a whole document and if we want to search some part of a document, then what we do is like we run a similarity search of cosine similarity in that in of the vector embedding, and the context which we find most similar, we use it. We can apply that similar search here. We can compare two questions and their embeddings, and we can compare it through cosine similarity directly,
Okay.
and on that base we can say.
And I know from, again, going back to when I was monitoring those forums, I would bring back to the Linux Foundation the fact that everybody was having a problem at the same stage and the same thing for them to, and they updated the manual so that it was easier to install. So if everybody's asking the same question at the same time, there might be an issue that needs to go
Yep.
up.
There's some other complexities to this though. Like I'm just thinking out loud of like people could ask multi-part or multi-step questions also. And so there could be a situation where part of it has been asked before and answered, but the other part still requires going out and getting, an answer.
Yeah, for that what we can do is like for starting we can implement just for the similar questions. But for the next time what we can do is like if we can also add the similarity search for some part of the question. If there are two parts,
Oh,
then we can for further we can add for one for similarity search and one from LLM.
okay.
But like for MVP, for like first try, we can do is like we can directly compare two questions for right now.
Gotcha. Okay.
Okay, so this was, and last point was regarding that beetle. If the Rai Jones told to rename it to Gitmesh, so I like renamed to Gitmesh. Currently, what I am doing in that also is like I am adding the AIFAQ there. I am facing some of the problems there to add AIFAQ is like regarding the web search problem only. the similar problem which we are like answering first for AIFAQ. I am adding AIFAQ here also, and here like the idea of optimizing the optimizing the token was came from here, because here I have to add a whole code into the context. If I add whole code into a context, then it would use a lot of token. So here I am trying to minimize the token. So I thought like we could do similar thing for AIFAQ also. Like we can minimize the token usage in similar way by caching or something like that. So currently I'm adding AIFAQ in that git mesh one also. So this was all about a
I have a
multi-agent.
question. Why did you change the name from Beetle to Gitmesh? Was that something that the Linux Foundation
Yeah,
suggested?
yeah. Actually, what happened was Rai Jones told me that Beetle sounds like some product, and they can't promote any product. Means it sounds like some company,
Yes.
and they can't promote a company. But Git word is an open source word. Like Git
Yes.
is quite popular in open source, and mesh means a network. So it was like Git mesh in that way.
I like it. I just was wondering what prompted the change.
Yeah, it was like I told in the previous meet that he had added that multi-agent name there, and then I talked with him. He told me that he can't add Beetle, but he can add Gitmesh or similar name. So I was like I agreed on Gitmesh name.
Yeah, I like it.
So like
Good
we
job.
changed it to that thing.
Excellent.
Yeah, so that was all about multi-agent. If you have any questions regarding this.
No, thank you. It's a great presentation, and I could see why Min was impressed. Anybody else want to present something? Okay. I'm going to talk about something that I don't want to talk about. This damn website's going to kill me. I'm just telling you. So I've been working on it all weekend, and I think I've got it figured out. What I did was I went back and I talked to Gianluca, and he basically told me the only thing different between his and my setup was where we were pointing for the landing page. So I went back to WordPress, since I've already paid for them for a year, and tried to work with them, and I couldn't. Their help desk was not helpful. Nothing they did was helpful. So the emails don't work right now, but they will later on in the week. I'm going to cut ties with WordPress, and Pair Hosting offers a web editor called Weebly. I've just attached to it. I've written the website. It's up there. I've switched over to Weebly. It should take effect any minute. So if anybody wants to see, the thing that I had a problem with was every time the landing page worked, the subdomains didn't work. Hopefully that's resolved now. And by the end of the day, everything should be working on the website. I did. Let me see if I can find the page. Where to go? Maybe that one. That one. Hold on. I'll share my screen in a second. I just have to find the web page. Which, there it is. No, that's not it. Anyway, so I will get that up and running in a second. Where did I put it? If I close it, I'm going to scream. Oh, I know where it is. Sorry. Here we go. So here is the web hosting. We now are here. And what I need, it takes so long on my system. What I need help with is graphics and the branding, which I will talk to Daria this week about, because right now all it has is basically that one picture all through what we're doing. And I'm going to put the terms and services on here. This has been published. Hopefully it works on your machines. There might be a security issue, but I got the SSL working, so that should be fine. So if it doesn't work by the end of the day, I'll be reaching out to you, JRAM, and we will have a meeting tomorrow to figure out these DNSs that don't work on anything. But if anybody has any ideas on branding or just what this graphically should look like, I can set up a meeting. Let me just share my screen real quick. If I can find. Right here. So this is the editor, and again, it's Oh. Can you see my screen?
Yes, Bobby, we can see.
Oh, good. So again, it doesn't have any graphics on it. It just has information that we can edit, do whatever we want to. But I'm going to be working on the look and feel this week. So if anybody has any suggestions on that, please let me know. If not, I'm just going to go with the same color scheme and just work on some themes and maybe reach out to Darian, see what she thinks on that front. And anybody else who wants to be involved in those conversations this week, just let me know and I will include you in all the meetings. So that was it for the website. Again, sorry it's taking me so long, but I'm working through it. I still don't know why WordPress is so difficult, but I'm moving away from them.
Is there a better design template to start with? Like that's in Canva or one of the other tools?
This is their publisher and it's fine. I can do whatever I want with it. It's as flexible as all the other ones and it's in the pair domain. If we ever have to move it out, that's fine too. I know that Gianluca was using Netify's templates, but they're kind of the same templates. And for just a
Okay.
landing page, it really doesn't have to have super functionality other than, informational. So this should be fine. And again, it should be working. I switched it, activated it, published it. So if it doesn't work, I'm going to be on customer service again for another day with pairs, but they know me pretty well by now. They see me coming. So
Okay.
again, my only fear, and it did happen during the weekend. Oh, I didn't spell architect right. Was that when the WordPress site works, for some reason, the subdomains go down and we can't have that. People are testing that. So I'd rather have
Right.
the landing page down than someone going to test and not being able to get in. So as soon as, this should be activated. So I'm going to check my phone, see
Okay.
if it is.
Are you familiar or heard of this before, but someone just recently recommended it again. Rupak said that, oh, he showed us this website on Friday that he created using something called VO. It's one of these AI tools, and I'm not sure if you start with a template and then have it modify it from there. But
Yeah, the
he
templates are
said
nice.
But he said he's literally was able to start with a template, tell it what to do, and then he literally takes screenshots of the sections. He's like, oh, I don't like the icon there, or change the text. And he feeds it back into it and literally just takes a picture, feeds it back in, and it changes those sections for him.
That's nice. It can work
So,
off.
so I haven't worked with the only tool I've ever worked with that is I've worked with WordPress a little bit. I've worked with Webflow and found that overly complex for me because it gets into the details. And then I've used Canva, but then I was limited with Canva because I was using their template. I was very limited to a one-page website.
Well, not only that, it's hard to upload a Canva website to an existing. I was having trouble with that. Like I tend to save it and then upload it, and you had to use their interface, and I just never got very far.
Okay. Yeah, I think
It's
I'm
great
hosting
for
on
designing, but
GoDaddy.
it saves it
No,
as a PNG for me. I can't
no,
save
no.
it as an HTML.
I was able to connect it, I think, to my GoDaddy site and
Oh, okay. I'll work
for
on that.
hosting, and Canva was able to connect to that.
Yeah, this Weebly is just templates, but it has the ability to edit them any way you want. So if you have an idea, you have to manually, WYSIWYG it, but it works
Okay.
pretty simple.
What's Orchard?
Orchid is a YC startup which is leading this thing of making website right now. The thing which you told V0, it's like it's a highest on this benchmark right now, and it's best for designing stuff, and it's very easy. Like it's same as V0 dot app.
Oh, I remember
Like this
Wheezy.
force.
Can you put the link for Orchard? I'd be curious.
Yeah, yeah, I
So
can.
I search Orchard websites and it's pulling up like
Yeah.
places where I can buy
Flowers.
orchids.
This is
Me
orchids
too.
dot app. Orchids dot app.
Orchid app. Orchid dot
I shared the link in chat.
Yep.
app. Got it. Yep.
Thanks. Cool.
Thank you.
Not familiar. I mean, maybe I heard of this. There's just something new every day.
Yeah, isn't there? Isn't it amazing? Oh,
Okay,
good. Yeah, I will
cool.
play with Orchid. I like this. This is nice. I'll put that in my.
I had a query that like right now the problem is for hosting that website, right? For like
The problem
uh,
here, I can show you. The problem is for me. Let me share my screen with this. So I have. Let me just share my screen. So this is all managed. I have to log in. Sorry, it takes so long. This. Come on. No, that's not what I wanted. So if I do this, and I don't want to do that, but this is where we're pointing now. And this is pair.com. So I need pair domains. Hold on. I don't know if that's what I wanted. I didn't want my Weebly sites. Hold on. So the problem comes in, like right now, I don't have a landing page posted on this. It's Pairs Nick, but pairs.com is hosting it. When I add an A record for the landing page, it turns off the other A record. So my question, if anybody's familiar with what they're looking at here, should I make the subdomain CNAME type instead of A? But that's not what Gianluca has. I have a copy of what Gianluca had. And let me get that over to you. Where was that? That was in documents. So he tried to fudge it in AIFAQ info. Let me just see if I can find a picture of that. Which was this one? Yeah, that's it. So Gianluca's looks like this. So he's got an extra A record for the landing page. And up until yesterday, so did I. I don't know, when I just attached the Weebly site, it went away. But so all my conflict now is when I do this, I thought I fixed it, and hopefully it points to, if anybody can log on to AIFAQ.pro right now and tell me what they see, that would be great. Probably nothing, because there's no A record for the landing page, which I have to add. And this should point to the Weebly site or the Orchid site or whatever site that I build the page on, should be that A record. But for some reason, Gianluca doesn't get a conflict. When I add another A record, these three stop working. So again, should these be C names instead of A? I don't know. Don't know, but I will be figuring that out. I'm surprised that my A record was gone. So I might have to add a new one. But again, that's where I've been pulling my hair out. We're so close to solving it, and maybe if I just, yeah, the main problem is with the DNS. Absolutely, absolutely. These records are pointing. Right now, everything works except for the landing page, and when I add the landing page, the subdomains don't work. But I will work on it. If anybody wants to join me at, let's say, 10:30, I could sit down and I could add records and see if it works. If anybody has any ideas how to get this moving forward, I don't know right now. The Weebly site might be working because it might not need a record because it's pointing to pairs Nick, and that's kind of pointing to Weebly because I added Weebly through pairs Nick. So again, Peter, log on to AIFAQ.pro and tell me what you see.
Bobby, the
Have you
main
tried
problem
like
with the paid.com is like it's a more complex UI.
Yeah, I was suggesting that only. Like, I have hosted my website of like my startup thing. So like I am using Vercel for the hosting and like GoDaddy for that domain thing. And it's very easy for like it's literally very easy to connect everything for that. If you use Vercel and that, and I like it's literally free also. Vercel is free for like some thousands user. It's like way better, and it's like quite
Could you
easy
put the name
UI.
of that in the chat?
No. I haven't added Vercel.
So
Vercel
Bobby,
and
it's
like
saying that
what
the
I am
connection is
using.
not private
Yep, that's what I was
and
getting to. Yep,
not secure.
Vercel. Thank you. I didn't. Yep,
Hackers might be trying to steal your information.
I'm not trying to steal your information. I swear to God, I'm not. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what I
like
was getting to. So I will. I went in a chatbot and asked him what it meant, and it said it should resolve itself in time. And I gave it 6 hours, and it didn't resolve itself. So now I got to step it up a notch and figure it out.
actually the the link which I have shared is like I hosted this website recently only, and it was like done in 5-10 minutes. Using Vercel and GoDaddy, it's like quite easy to host this thing.
But then I would have to transfer from pairs to Vercel.
Uh, like if like majorly how Vercel works is like if you have some code of your website, then you just have to push it on the GitHub, and GitHub has to be directly connected with Vercel. It hosts itself. Just you have to add a small DNS thing, which he like the Vercel only gives a procedure. You just have to copy paste things directly, and it connects everything directly.
Got it.
Yeah, Vercel is kind of a hosting or deploying platform, kind of.
Okay. Hey, I will be working on this. I will get this done. I
And
keep
it's
saying that
free
every time
also.
we have a conversation, it gets worse. Uh, Anyway, so that's it. I will put on Slack if I'm going to have another meeting about the website today or tomorrow for anyone to join. And if anybody wants to join me on that while I edit these, but I'm going to try to see if I can get this. I mean, the website's written, it's up there, it's done through pairs. It should work. So maybe I have I have this is attached, so that should get rid of the security issues. Again, I might be using this transfer code very soon. We'll see.
For the last option, I would recommend we can just transfer the pay.com domains to another
Server,
website.
yeah. I agree.
That's the last option.
Yeah.
Because I also think the issue is with that pair.com like domain only because uh, like I have never faced this issue because like what I think is like their DNS has some problem because of which you are facing that issue.
Yes, it does have a lot of problems. Um, so I did again. I will figure this out. So, does anybody have any other topics to talk about today? I think that was it for my agenda. I will put the outline of this call and the links on the Trello card, and so everybody can access them. And I will make sure that Gianluca gets the recording so he can see what we did. Anything else?
Nope.
Nope. All right. Have a good Monday. And again, keep looking at Slack. I will put it on the general page if I'm having a meeting tomorrow, if this isn't working by then. So keep an eye out. Thank you, everybody, for presenting.